Ulysses, you talked about establishing a beachhead at the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, first of all, that would kind of mean boots on the ground, which we don't want and would lead to probably more issues. And also, I don't think that it's really possible here because the problem would be that you have to sail into the Strait of Hormuz, right? So the same weakness that goes for all the other ships that stops them from going through would also make the US Navy ships very vulnerable, I think.
It is surprising for at least the US, or at least my understanding, like historical knowledge of the US and shit and our military power, that we wouldn't be able to, let's say, secure that strait, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by securing it?
Making it so that there's no chance that, or blowing up any sort of Iranian landmine vessel in the vicinity. Securing like
I mean,
free
if you
travel.
look at it on the map, there's a huge stretch of land where you can just stick together a drone for $10,000 and shoot them at ships. And I feel like there's not really anything we can do about it.
True. I mean, yeah, there are some new innovations with like drones and shit. Trying to think. It's basically what the U.S. Navy is built for the past like 60 or so years. We've done a lot of, let's say, advancements in like integration with policing free trade and stuff. Whether that's like the Taiwan Strait between Taiwan and China and stuff. It's kind of our thing that we're known for.
Policing everything.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So do you believe that once the war started, there was anything that we could have not have the oil crisis?
I definitely think so. That's where I brought in the one topic where I thought this got more interesting, is kind of this idea of the time crisis part of it, of the idea that a month or two ago with the uprisings and riots and stuff, people were kind of like blaming the US for not stepping in or doing anything. But then because basically our fucking aircraft carrier was in goddamn near the Caribbeans to support the extraction of the Venezuelan president. So then it took a month or two to get it to the strait over there. But apparently it wasn't enough. So I think there's this like time crisis part of it to where we wanted to still support them, but obviously didn't have enough ships in the area to secure the strait.
I mean, I can see it. I think it's a really hard question to answer. I would still lean heavily towards no, just because I'm looking at it on it on the map, and I think it's just too much land. You can't control two cheap drones that you can shoot at ships.
True.
But
there's gotta
I
be.
think it's
Sure.
Ulysses, did you have another?
I'll pop in because I got called out here.
You did.
Yes, even though
dumbass.
Nice.
Yo, beachhead in the Middle East again. We just got out of there.
Of course. Go ahead. I'm not necessarily so. I'm coming at it strategically. So we've already declared war. Already we're like, if your thinking about this is how do we effectively create an economic condition to where the world economy is stabilized enough to where like declaring war on Iran is feasibly okay. So right now, they did like almost the worst case scenario. Right now in the United States, at least where I am, gas has increased by 90 cents. We're almost like any high, and we're starting to touch like 2008 recession crisis levels of gas. Like the highest I've seen around here back was like 2009, and that was like $4 a gallon in Wisconsin. Which, and like for you guys, if you're coasties, like your guys are like, oh, that's fucking nothing. But for us, like the highest it's ever gone is like $4 on the small side. It hasn't crested like $4.50, thank God. But with this crisis, but with that being said, I'm thinking of it tactically. Like I would agree with you. We probably don't want to do boots on the ground, but given this administration's how far they've already put the boot in the ass, like they can't really pull out now. Okay, they can't. There's like if they pull out, they basically signal to the world, like we fucked up. We've lost, and Iran gets a whole bunch of world credibility. They become known as basically Afghanistan 2.0. Like, yeah, we held off the United States of America. We're this badass country. So like I would agree personally. I wouldn't start this war. We're all libs here. I would assume I wouldn't want to start this fucking war. But if you're doing this tactically, um, you have to establish that Strait of Hormuz, and like maybe like have boots on the ground, but you're also setting up like Patriot systems to intercept any missiles that are going towards like vessels to stop any destruction of world trade. Because that's something that I think of all the time is like, hey, if you're doing something strategically, you have to cover bases and you have to have backup plans for backup plans. You can't just like airstrike your way into success.
Okay, that tracks. Your response?
Let's say we could have been sure that if we do what you just suggested and established boots on the ground, established a beachhead, do you think that would be preferable to the situation that we have now?
Would it be better?
Would it be better than the economic pain of the oil crisis that we're having now?
If we have boots on the ground and we have established air defenses that can take down missiles there, it would allow more vessels to then travel through. And I'd probably say yes, just because like there might be a war in that area, but if you can cut them off from the ocean and the straits, I feel like the world economy might take a bit of a hit, but not as much as we're seeing right now.
I think for the world economy, you're probably right. But what about the US specifically? Because boots on the ground, you would need a lot of troops that cost a lot of money. I think these. I don't know history that well of the US, but weren't these mobilization efforts, the boots on the ground thing, wasn't that where the huge economical hits from these wars came from in the past?
Well, this is where I pull out the Jon Stewart card, and it's a bit more complicated because if you're gonna call back to Iraq, I don't necessarily know if we didn't really rely too much on OPEC oil at the time. We may have just a little bit because we were starting to develop the North Dakotas a bit. But I would say a lot of that happened where we declared two wars, and then we had the 2008 recession crisis that compiled on top of that. So I
don't think he's particularly talking about that. More like think about like Tomahawk missiles, all the shit that costs like millions or billions of dollars to deploy and use. And then to have boots on the ground is now okay. Now you have soldiers there. You need to have a supply line to them. You need to ship supplies, guns, ammunition, water, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Just that's that cost he's talking about. It seems like.
Oh, well, it would be more costly in that sense, but like the American person wouldn't necessarily care too much. Just like how, like at the end of the day, Venezuela wasn't really cared about necessarily too much. Like Americans are generally like what we see with our eyes, with our real eyes, not necessarily what goes through a screen, is what we care about the most. I think like love it or hate it, like I would agree that what happened in Gaza was a tragedy, but at the end of the day, Americans just didn't give two shits or a rat's ass fuck about it. Like we want something here. We wanted people to focus on the economy, and if we can establish the economy in a way that like supports like Iran, or like a ground invasion, the economy would like do that. But just like we've done this in such a way that we basically fucked up in almost the worst case scenario. The only way that I could see this being worse is if like Russia literally is sending in anti-air, and we're losing a lot more like air power than we are currently right now. So,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it wasn't handled well. The whole execution was pretty bad. But I feel like this would be like an insanely huge naval invasion with many troops, many ships that are going through vulnerable straits, which are easily attackable by drones that are much cheaper than the interceptors.
True.
You would require to manufacture the consent to do it. I feel like even the monetary cost alone, I would assume right now is bigger than the economic cost of the oil crisis for the whole world. The political cost would be high. There would be a lot more people dead. But I guess we're just guessing numbers at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But would you then why then not pull through completely and do like a ground invasion of Iran fully if we're already there and already started a naval invasion?
If you're asking me to speculate, because then it grants legitimacy that this is a forever war. Right now, the only the biggest thing about, at least to me, was like especially as a kid growing up under the Iraq War. Thank God oh God, I'm already having PTSD just remembering it. But having the military on the ground grants more credence to the idea that this is going to be a forever war. Because once they see boots on the ground, it's like, okay, not only we're not just doing like airstrikes, this isn't like a specialty operation. This is Russia, Ukraine. We're invading a sovereign country, and not just like bombing it into smithereens. I'd agree with you that there's going to be this would require a lot of troops. There would be a lot of strategy involved here. I'd assume they'd advance some sort of like SEALs and ground team to create like scouting or beachhead, like micro beachheads that they can then like send people through. If you wanted to care about the drones, of course, maybe the Air Force targets the places in which those places launch. It's This is beyond my pay grade because I'm not like a military person. I'm more like strategically minded about like how I think these things through. But like at that point, like I don't know why they're doing it. Well, I'd assume the biggest reason is if once you send in troops, now you're going to have to justify every American dying versus like happenstancely Iran sending a bunch of drones out into the Middle East and possibly and killing at least 6. I don't know about the other 6 that had were what was it? Was the KC 139?
That is
That
fine.
the
Go ahead. You can finish off though.
Yeah, it was the gas refiller that
Oh yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember if it was like a midair collision or something, but
It was a
the only
middle.
one, yeah. So the only thing like those ones are like friendly fire, but they're gonna have to justify more if they do a ground invasion, which I think that's the only reason they're doing pussyfooting around this.
All right, thank you two for coming up. I'll be moving you down to the audience.
thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All
You know,
right.
to jump off of Ulysses' point really quickly though, I
Go for it.
I feel like the question is more so to what end? Okay, we put boots in the ground or we don't. We have a Navy involved or the planes or whatever, or we don't. For what? Like we've already gotten rid of most of their leadership. What leadership has been gotten rid of has already pretty much effectively been replaced. They no longer have nuclear capabilities if we're to believe Trump's reports from his first strike. Like what are we doing? Like what are we trying to achieve? Like they don't even have their story straight on what the purpose of this is. You know, it's a regime change. It's not a regime change, you know, or it's you know, to try to capture their oil capabilities maybe, but then that's you know, I don't even see how that's possible, you know, like it's so what are like to what for what like what are we trying to achieve if we do go there?
I get you.
Sorry,
All right.
she's
This last
a
section,
mess.
we're gonna unlock Dark Phoenix. Okay. I now fully believe in this, and I actually understand all this. Okay, so
Okay.
I'll give my little spiel, and then people can come up to debate it. Actually, this is a grand strategy plan. Okay, we knocked out Venezuela. Their oil, they were had ties to China and stuff, and which they were sending millions and billions of barrels of oil to China. Now we've hit Iran. Now the Strait actually locking down actually good. Okay, we can kind of say it's off of our hands. It's Iran who's doing it, not us, and that oil's not going to China. And now because we unlocked sanctions against Russia, who was also sending oil to China, now they're currently also can't get any oil. So if China wanted to invade Taiwan right now, they actually couldn't because 3 of their largest suppliers of oil has currently been cut off in the past 3 months. Go Trump. Whoa. That's our biggest threat, China, not these other people. Go for it.
Okay, so maybe I don't get your point, but from what the limited knowledge I picked up on the issue is that I think China has even more stockpile than the entire IEA, which already released part of its stockpile or reassured that they would release more to ease the costs, which of course in a chaotic situation might be problematic. So when I really want to hate Trump, but at the same time I want to try to understand, because one thing Sophie mentioned is what is the goal? Of course, an easy out is to say that Trump wants to hide from the Epstein thing. Trump wants to signal something. Trump is courted by Bibi's stuff, or just has a tantrum and wants to push on Iran for some reason. But I think when I thought back about what happened during the first Trump, the first Trump president,
What was your response to my take? Was that they China has like very large oil supply and stuff? Reserve?
Yeah, I guess let's if we cover the first point, that would be I think the China having the biggest or a bigger supply is probably kind of against what you mean. Or could you maybe rephrase it again?
Yeah,
Maybe
I would say
didn't
like currently right now I think it's projected that China will try to do something with Taiwan at least in like 2027 or like 2028. So if we cut off now, there's a whole year that if they had that their reserves will be drained, so that they won't have that to fuel their war machines in 2027.
Okay, so we. Okay,
Are you eating your mic? What is going on right now? I'm being trolled.
I am not.
This fucker is eating his goddamn mic. Please stay.
No, Rand. Rand, it literally goes like you're like so loud, and then you'll like I guess you'll pull back, and then it's like so soft. Like I don't know if you could like people on YouTube could probably see me, but I'm literally like adjusting your specific volume.
Okay,
Rand, just you don't have to be.
Keep it
Pick a good distance. Yeah, we'll figure it out from there. But go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, I will try. Yeah.
Listen, hold on. First off, guys, you guys shouldn't be laughing. This is German humor. It's no laughing matter, okay?
The precision. We need to have more. Yes.
I agree, but I'll point to Phoenix right now. From my understanding, Iran is allowing tankers through. They're just heading straight directly to China. So, I mean, if they're being tactical about this, and the reason why they're not, from my understanding, is that they don't want to catch shade from China. So, I would agree with you, Phoenix. If they're going to take Iran to take over the oil, that would be like I would agree with them. But they're not doing anything strategically significant, like taking out the tankers that are feeding China right now. So
okay, last I've heard of that was that America said that no tankers would be going through if that happened.
Well, at least from the research I'm doing right now, it seems like I don't know how much I want to trust any of these outlets, but just basically the stuff I'm reading right now is Iran is reportedly considering a new approach to managing oil traffic, tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, with a crucial exception being going to China.
Oh, hello.
That's
Ulysses, you just froze, hon.
To just
Just freeze yourself.
The Messiah got him. Never mind.
Yeah.
Back to you, Rand. China got him.
Yeah. Maybe to pick up from this point.
Yeah, go for it.
So, just to summarize the argument, we first said that maybe this is to destabilize China, and I'm not aware of any ships going through currently because I thought the biggest issue with the whole situation is not that they're not safe or that we can't guarantee safety, but more that the whole issue with oil tankers is that there's a big industry in insurance with it.
Yes,
So,
exactly. And they're mining it. So even if they wanted to let China ships through, they couldn't just let them through, okay?
But to counter it, I would say, is this, if we honestly take this seriously as said, it's not a laughing matter, is it really a proportional geopolitical strategy to destabilize, as much as we like to meme about pre-2000 US interventionism? Is it really a proportional analysis to say, well, let's just destabilize an entirely different region just to weaken China?
Okay, think about this. What are you currently using to talk and stuff? Your phone or computer and stuff. All those things have microchips in it and stuff. And right now, the biggest supplier of the most advanced microchips is Taiwan. And if China goes and invades, that both cuts off the supply and basically to everything we do in our life, our fucking refrigerators, our goddamn everything, my goddamn weight machine that I used to see how much I weigh has an app that I have to then sign up through. Okay, everything is fucking crazy and requires microchips. So yeah, maybe to stop them from invading Taiwan, it would be worth it.
I mean, there's I think the strategic goal is totally fine. The issue is more that you're like, I want you to stop like hitting your dog, and that's why I buy you a new cupboard that is like optimized so you stub your toe in the morning so you forget about your dog. That's like 3 corners around in geopolitic realm. And I don't understand why we just don't like go and do what I think Biden and Obama did and just signal pressure on the Taiwan front with a strategic placement in the sea around Taiwan, which we I think did in history, right?
Yeah, U.S. has done freedom of navigation and shit through the Strait of Taiwan now. But you know what's better than fighting a war? Okay, never having to in the first place because they don't have any oil. Okay, it's great. Ulysses, you're back.
Yeah, I know.
Got targeted by I can't think of his name. Who the fuck?
No,
Who's leader of China? Fuck.
Motherfuckers
Xi
Jinping.
Jinping.
I had no yeah.
They are already controlling the chips in his
Yeah,
Exactly.
It was like, oh, you're playing Age of Empires 4, are you? We're gonna give you a memory issue, okay? And then just like everything.
Never really.
My Internet Explorer, my
No.
my Discord, my game. Like the only
got
thing
minute
that
30.
was alive.
What do you got?
No, I had my Steam, but no. For my God, I just had this up and I had to close everything. I think Iran is still sending oil tankers to China, and I think the only reason America isn't touching that is because they don't want to catch shade from China because that might be a casus belli for them.
Okay, but if Iran is mining the strait, why would oil tankers still keep going through? Okay.
Probably well, I mean, if it's their own oil tankers, they might have intelligence as to like where the mines are.
Oh, maybe I have no idea. I don't know.
Retro, just to give you another point. So
yeah, go for
you're
it.
saying the US, our president, should now seize Chinese oil tankers to save us from the doom of the chips that China produces or Taiwan is producing?
I mean, do you not take this threat seriously? That China's a big threat. They have their economy just grew
but
like fucking 4,000% in the past 10, 20 years.
I'm asking if this is the logical conclusion of your argument.
That
is
these
very
are all
serious,
targeted
of
strikes.
course.
That these are all targeted strikes and acts to what's the word? Deplete China's oil supply before 2027, so they can't invade Taiwan.
Okay. I think this is such a great argument. I don't know how to argue against it.
He got stun locked with 3 seconds on the clock. Motherfucker did like a Jesus Christ.
All right. And enjoyed you too, Big Up. Thank you, Rand, for adjusting your mic. It was very appreciated.
You know, I gotta say, just to take the other side of it, somebody say, okay, well, you know, what do you expect? What do you think he's trying to do? I think we need to look at the fact that none of this is intentional, thought out plans. Like there's no thought in Trump's mind, or I'm willing to bet anybody even in his administration's mind, that is saying, well, if we play 4D chess and stop this in Venezuela and then Iran and China is not, like, that's not happening. There's no calculation or strategy involved at all. I'm gonna guess. That's my thought.
I mean, no, it was like this is some random thing. Like I noticed the pattern of like, oh, all this like oil stuff or what the fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, like to be honest, no, that's just Trump's. To give my honest opinion of Trump's mindset on these things, I feel like Trump just like wants to be remembered for some shit, and he realizes he's like close to death of how old he is, and he's just like plastering his name next to fucking JFK
Yeah,
or-
Kennedy
the
Center.
fucking
Yeah.
Kennedy Center and the Trump and Kennedy Center, and like he wants to be like in the history books, and so he's just starting all these fucking wars and like, oh, these things will get me in the history books. So I mean, that's my
Yeah.
personal opinion on the matter, but yeah, I gotta go dark
Absolutely.
Phoenix there for a second to get the conversation going. Our second topic, I do not know if Tetrax, I don't know if you were here for this. Our second topic though is going to be mind wipe. Okay, imagine the Watergate scandal happened today. What would happen? So it didn't happen in our timeline, or it didn't happen completely. All those ideas, everything that came out of that didn't happen. Okay, it happens right now in this America. What would happen?
Oh, I wanted to make a
Tetrax.
point on the topic before about the chat
No,
thing.
Tetrax. Or fine.
Oh,
I'll give you 2 minutes. Go for it.
sorry.
And if anyone has an opinion on this topic, raise your hand.
First of all, because you mentioned it, I think the US-Russia oil sanctions, they never stopped oil from flowing from Russia to China. They always did that. It was just to the US, basically.
Mm.
And also, I think that the point doesn't really make sense because Taiwan is a lot closer to China than it is to the US. Taiwan's only line of defense is the US. So if you spike the oil price, who is going to need more oil to get there to fight? It's going to be the US. Who has a much bigger strategic oil reserve, China or the US? It's China. So they already have enough oil to make a move on Taiwan. But currently, with the current oil price, the US might not have enough oil to defend Taiwan.
All right,
So if you
that's
spike
your
the oil
minute.
price now, it's
Yeah.
going to be bad for the Taiwan thing.
Okay, that's your minute. I'm gonna take a minute. Okay. Well, guess what? The U.S. is actually a net producer of oil. We can actually export oil. So if you really wanted to, we could just keep it for ourselves. So we don't need reserves when you just produce enough oil. I don't know. Thank you. Does anyone have anything for this topic? Imagine the Watergate.
Yeah, say it
happened
again.
Today. What do you think, Sophie?
Oh gosh. Well, how hasn't it happened? How was Signalgate not like Watergate? How is him publicly announcing that he wants his DOJ to go after, judges and news agencies and whoever the fuck else? Like, how is that not Watergate-esque? Let's look at what Watergate was. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was basically the fact that Nixon recorded so much shit. He recorded like everything in order to try to like get something on people and to have influence. And when it first came out, it wasn't even that like Watergate wasn't because they were trying to like find this information. Like, wasn't it that it just so happened that they were trying to go into the Watergate Hotel to recover some files and recordings, and somebody happened to see through the window that there were lights on or something, and so they called the police, and that's how it was discovered that they were in the Watergate. That's where Watergate came from. They were in the Watergate Hotel trying to get this information, and so that's what uncovered the fact that Nixon was recording all these people and had all this back end information on folks. He denied it. He blamed it on his who was the guy? It wasn't his VP. Was it the Speaker of the House? It was like a dude like who literally took the fall for him before he actually, ended up getting impeached for it. And so like so I feel like the parallels with today would be that there was Nixon's attempts to use his office in a way that got him political favor and in a way to put individuals in his pocket so that he could manipulate them at a certain date. I feel like Trump's already, again, publicly absolutely been fine doing that in front of everybody's eyes, taking all sorts of money with his, coins and all his merchandise and all this bullshit he's doing. Just like that's already happening. And then with Watergate, it was discovered because somebody happened to see, the light in the window and wanted to see what's going on. again,
Yes, I remember that part in
it-
Forrest Gump.
but we don't have that, right? Exactly. But if we were to liken that to today, you don't even need somebody to be like a whistleblower or to discover the ineptitude and bribery and all this. Like Trump will say it himself. Bondi, I want you to go after this. Like literally, it's all out in the open. And then finally, the fact that he tried to blame it on his staff. Trump's doing that and done that just fine. Like anything bad's not his fault. Anything, good or that he can wring some good out of is totally him, and he needs an award for it. And then I think the final parallel is just that Nixon was impeached, right? But he wasn't actually like removed. He actually just left on his own volition, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
But the fact that Trump, there's no impeachment in sight until perhaps midterms and Democrats get control again in order to start that process. So, Trump's been impeached twice, but we just haven't had the removal part. So I think, if we're trying to compare Watergate to today, it's already happening.
No,
it's
Watergate
happening.
didn't happen, okay? No,
Yeah,
Now.
Watergate was the
Right
greatest
now,
thing.
okay?
It was, see what it revealed is that we're keeping you safe by making sure we have all these recordings on the bad guys. Literally, they'll find a way to spin it. So it's already happening now. It's already happening worse. There's no similarity in the repercussions from it happening to Trump or anyone.
Let me take it this angle.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Right now, today, 5 men were caught wiretapping phones and photographing documents in the DNC. They broke into the Democratic National Convention headquarters and they started wiretapping phones and photographing shit. What do you think the reaction would be to that?
I think it would be a drop in the bucket of everything else going
I think that's actually pretty crazy. I don't know, actually. I think that would be pretty crazy.
Well, I
don't
mean,
know. Ooh.
how would you liken that to today? Like the fact that private messages were leaked, perhaps? I mean, we don't need somebody to physically go into somewhere to actually. So I think the corollary today would be perhaps like a FBI investigation, which has been called on for people to have happened to people, or some sort of leaking of private information, like Signal chat, like the Turning Point boys and all those folks with their stuff. So I feel like even if we were to say, okay, one entity on one side going to the other side to steal their information or whatever, I feel like that's happened in so many different ways. It's happened with Trump or people on the right trying to
Actually, it's,
no, go ahead. Yeah.
it's kind of scary to think about because the main part of this is the investigation was investigated by the FBI and shit, but then was apparently hampered or sabotaged by the White House. At this point, I don't even know if Watergate would happen. Where it's I think the FBI is already when Trump went through and basically weeded out everyone that was a part of the January 6th investigations and stuff, and basically purely tested the FBI. I don't even know if we would have Watergate. If this thing did happen, I feel like the FBI would just be in Trump's pocket of they wouldn't even investigate it or would even help to cover it up or some shit.
Yeah. No.
Any thoughts?
I mean, well, that like you were saying, what Watergate was his people trying to find information that they could use, to put people in their pocket or whatever the case is, or to have political influence. But is that not what he's doing?
I'm guessing it's
No, go ahead.
I'm guessing it's the break into the DNC. They're photographing and wiretapping their phones and stuff. I think it was in the hopes or related to their how they would run their election or some shit.
Yeah, but I feel like that's how is that not him having his FBI and his DOJ dig into Letitia James and dig into now the freaking judge had to block him from going after the Jerome Powell,
Mhm.
you know,
Oh my
he's
God, Jerome Powell.
yeah, but he's like weaponizing his administrations to do that, to go to the other side and dig through their life and dig through their shit and try to find something. He did that with oh gosh, the guy who fucked Hillary. What's his name?
Wait, what?
The guy who like
Mr. Clinton. I think that's the person who fucked Clinton.
no, the dude who like
Comey?
Comey, yes.
Comey. Oh my God.
All the
I can't
stuff.
rename.
Thank you, Ulysses. Thank you, Darko. Yes, Comey. He's tried to comb through Comey's life. So I mean, he's doing that. He's operationalizing his his agencies to find their documents and go through their trash, and so like who else would have found Letitia James's second house mortgage application that had one line different than what like how could that have happened if that's not what Trump is doing?
Yeah.
So that's all. I think it's a wonderful and apt thought experiment. Like if Watergate were to happen today, again, I think that it's sadly kind of, again, I think it is happening. I think as we can see, like every Watergate-esque situation that happens just does, it's just a drop in the, it's just a drop in the bucket.
All right.
But what do you guys think? Come on up and tell me your thoughts. Because again, I'm always going to be
to the next topic.
The doom and gloom.
Yeah, I'm back, motherfuckers. Okay, let's just okay. As a quasi lover of history and just based on the snippets at the time, Roger Ailes, the founder of Fox News, I think wasn't he a staffer under Nixon, or he was related?
I think there was some tie there. Yeah.
Yeah, there was some tie. I think the reason that if Watergate happened now and it didn't happen in the past, I think we would probably see the same thing happen under Watergate because this would be unprecedented. Because from my understanding, Roger Ailes, the only reason that guy ever created Fox News, one of his primordial things that he wanted to do was he wanted to make sure that if Watergate ever happened again, there was a propaganda arm that could dumb it down. So the entire reason why, and this would be if this isn't true, unironically, this is an unintended consequence that's literally happened. The reason why we don't care about Trump doing all this shit is literally Fox News just doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
And because Fox News doesn't give a fuck or doesn't want to cover it in a favorable light, people are just being brainwashed in such a way that they're just not. They just don't give a shit. If Watergate happened now, I'd say there probably would be some principled thing because then Roger Ailes wouldn't exist, or some Roger Ailes would. We would just see basically a pushing back of that timeline.
Yeah, I wasn't taking it that direction. More just imagine today. It comes out that there's this strong tie because everyone has fucking cameras now or some shit. Trump, people connected to Trump have broken into the DNC, and have been shown to have been wiretapping the phones, taking pictures of documents, blah blah blah, all that shit. Basically what happened in Watergate, but it happened right today.
Oh, so you're saying Watergate's Watergate, but then Democrats try and do Watergate 2.0?
Yeah, basically the events of Watergate unfold today. What would happen? Would it be Watergate? Would it be a scandal? I don't even know at this point.
Democrats, yes, it would be a scandal because literally we make everything a fucking scandal in the Democrats. The Democrats will make a democratic. They will literally be like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're in our party. What the hell are you doing with all this shit?" With Republicans, I'd assume maybe, but this is you're asking an alternative reality question here, in which this is you'd have to tell me whether or not Watergate happened in the past. Because if it did happen in the past, I'd say no, they wouldn't give two shits or a flying fuck. Because just like what Sophie said, look at what Trump did with investigating Letitia James. Not only, at least with Nixon, he tried to do it behind the scenes. Trump's just doing it blatantly right the fuck now. So,
I gotta give some pushback. Okay, we'll say it did happen, but people got mind wiped. I don't know, whatever. But basically, yeah, the exact thing that happened in Watergate. 5 people were caught wiretapping phones and photographing documents, and at the fucking DNC, so the Democratic National Committee headquarters in Washington.
And we
This
have
is a
Fox
breaking news story. This happened right now. 2 hours ago, it was found out through investigative journalism and shit. It's been cross-checked and all this shit. And this did happen, that 5 men were caught that have ties to Trump.
Does Fox News still exist?
Yeah.
Then no, I would say that like we wouldn't give like half the country might give a shit, but or maybe like 60%, but it wouldn't be enough to like do any reparable damage to Trump. Like this was like it was kind of like the same way how actually Watergate went down was a lot of people just didn't understand. But as information rolled out, then they started to care. But by that point, Nixon was already pardoned, and nobody gave like a flying rat's ass about it. And probably the pardon did a lot more damage just because that brought it the entire case into light. So
Okay. All right.
well, that's me.
Any other opinions? Otherwise,
Come on,
we can
the audience, come up here, fight me, fight Phoenix. Okay, come on.
True.
Right now, this is a bloodless coup. We're just like, except that we're not cooing anybody. We're just cooing ourselves.
Okay, I think it would be a bigger deal. Okay, like I don't think anything's happened in this current administration to like this level where it's shown that he is like wiretapping and like taking pictures and to like try to sway the upcoming midterms and stuff in that way.
Let's think about this.
I can't think of anything like it.
I can't think of anything like it, but I think this would be like similar to it's not about the action itself, because like we look back at Watergate right now, and it's like we've seen everything happen. Maybe like 2 years afterwards, after like Watergate happens, maybe people will like care more, but it's gonna be it's gonna take a while to get there.
I'm saying if this story broke right now, you don't think this would be like a boon for Democrats in the midterms?
If it were for if Democrats were the ones investigating, yeah, it would be a boon for Democrats.
I'm saying Watergate. So Nixon was the president then. I'm saying right now, imagine
With Trump?
Trump's the president. He does the Watergate. He, tells people to break in to get things for the DNC.
It would be something we could run on. I'd agree. I would probably agree with that. But outside of that, like, I don't think so. No,
I think it would be a boon.
it would
Now,
be
don't get me
a
wrong.
boon politically.
Don't get me
but,
wrong.
like,
There'd be fucking what's one investigator dude that went to Minnesota and said like they were scamming and went to places
oh,
when they were running
God,
it open.
don't make me think of that guy.
That guy. Okay. Now, don't get me
Oh.
wrong. That guy. The recordings of Trump saying how he had nothing to do with this, or like how he wanted this to happen and shit. He'd be like, that guy, that investigator dude, he'd probably be like, that's just deepfake AI. Okay, it wasn't Trump.
Well, yeah, but yeah.
Nick Shirley.
there's so much
Nick
that I
Shirley
have
would be
to
like,
think
it's
about
just AI. Okay, I went and investigated myself. There is no Watergate. I couldn't find it. Okay, I went to the wrong address. I couldn't find it there. If why? I can't.
Yeah, it literally probably would just be that, because right now, like with like AI and stuff, they probably like with like increasing it, people would just be like, no, this didn't happen, or they could make another excuse that just keeps buying them time. Whereas like with the reason why I keep thinking about like Watergate is, generally speaking, there's this there's this aura about it, but this is like after all the facts have come out. Whereas like back then, I don't think Watergate was such a scandal at the time until like months to years after the fact, because not a lot of information was just like known about it.
Right. Thank you for coming up.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. Making the executive decision. Next topic. Topic 3.
It's fine.
Should Minnesota charge the officers now to dissuade ICE, or wait till after to secure a conviction? This idea was brought up by our glorious leaders, sideman Dan Stoltzman. And he was talking to Hutch, and he was saying how Minnesota should start charging the ICE officers that killed Alex Peretti and Renee Good. And then Hutch was basically saying how there'd be no point, because basically with charges like this, the federal government can just bring it up to federal court, and then the charges would be dropped because of like officer immunity and shit. But yeah, what do you think, Sophie?
So
The more important. Oh, go ahead.
No. So
Okay, go
wait till Or wait till after like midterms, or after what?
After this administration, because right now the idea is
Got
that
it. Yeah.
if they were to charge
Yeah.
it, it would get drawn up to the federal court and then dismissed.
Gotcha. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Ulysses is with me. He says after, and I agree. Just because, like, they clearly aren't going to do anything. They haven't charged him.
Right, a serious fight. Let's go. Good.
So yeah, I mean, I'm with it. No,
I'm
I'm
100% on board.
Oh, you want to do it now?
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it now. Okay.
Let's go.
There's a trolley problem, I think, where it's like, wait, right now okay. Imagine when you're in class or some shit. We're gonna say is this back in time is when like teachers could still like abuse kids or whatever the fuck,
Mhm.
and some kid starts speaking out too much and he gets like whacked over the side of the head. Like, do you think you're not gonna quiet down a bit?
Well,
The
yeah.
idea that like monkey see, monkey do. Like, if you see someone else get punished for something or like their life hamstringed over some shit, then you're less likely to do it.
Well, I guess
Right now,
you're
right
assuming.
now, yeah, I see. No, wait. Right now, I see. ICE officers just saw that one of their agents just shot a man like a dog while he was unarmed, while he was surrounded by 5 other ICE officers and got to walk away free, and nothing happened.
Well.
That's a dangerous precedent to set. Like, even if it doesn't do anything, I'd fight fucking tooth and nail. I'd appeal the federal court's appeal to take it to the federal court and shit. I would fight this tooth and nail because this is such a dangerous fucking precedent to set that, ICE officers can shoot U.S. citizens while they were unarmed on the fucking ground and nothing happens.
Well, okay. There's 2 things with this. I think first, we're kind of assuming that
Good.
the punishment, if you will, you're saying punishment. You're kind of assuming that will be a dissuading factor from ICE continuing to act recklessly. Whereas I feel like that wouldn't really be as impactful, given the fact that if it were to go through the courts right now, it most likely, like you said, even if it got a conviction, the second it gets into a federal court, or depending on who Trump put in for the state, even it could just really be thrown out. And then if anything, you're now saying not only can you shoot someone and get away with it, but you will absolutely be exonerated. You won't ever have to worry about being, facing double jeopardy and having this come back on you again. So like, I feel like the issue could be that, if we try and we fail, when there's a high likelihood that we will fail, it's not like we can retry them once the new administration comes in. So I think that if we take their cues, that they immediately went in, and first of all, they didn't allow either of them to receive medical attention, despite there being there was a doctor on hand for good. There was I think they were right near firemen or people who could have helped Preddy in that situation. They blocked both of them from receiving medical attention immediately. And then they think about how long it took for the guy who shot Good's phone information to come out. They were all wearing body cams. So there's this whole thing now. They're pushing for ICE to have body cams. They were wearing body cams. Have we seen any of this footage?
Yeah.
Right. So we haven't seen any of this footage. So the fact that there has been obstruction at every single step of the way already, again, they have not received federal charges. They were not even removed from duty. I think a couple of them were just moved to a different location. So there's been no punishments at all for any of them.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. That's the dangerous precedent that we're setting. That that's I don't feel. How does this not embolden ICE officers to just say well, if he got away with that, then the fucking you can get away with anything. At this point, this is what it feels like to me.
But that's what it is.
To respond to what you said, a little bit.
Go ahead.
Fuck. for me, it's like, how do Democrats not know, like, or see to push where like the other side's weak? For me, the Renee Good or Alex Peretti, no, especially the Alex Peretti part, the NRA came out and said, hey, it's not okay to like shoot unarmed like civilians or after they get disarmed. Like, it was such a bad look, and I feel like I smell blood in the water here. Where okay, imagine they do put charges towards the officers, and it does go up to the the federal courts, take it and dismiss the charges and shit. Now imagine that for the midterms to be like, oh yeah, here's a video of a U.S. citizen being disarmed and then shot like a dog, and Trump's FBI or court system, where the fuck, dismissed the charges. What the actual fuck? But Ulysses, what's your take?
Yeah, go ahead, Ulysses.
Oh, okay. So now it's I was just waiting for the timer to go out so that I can have a full 10 to rack you in the fucking ass. Okay.
No, yeah. We can have another 10 after this. Go for it.
Okay. So one of the I understand the catharsis of wanting to do it now, but
it's not the cathartic. Good.
What? It's more so. It is very. It's cathartic in the sense that you're throwing messaging out there and you want to do it now while it's fresh. But one of the fun things.
Sorry,
but yes, I'm good. Thank you so much. So one of the things that as a parent you do, and Selfie can resonate with this, especially. How old is yours? Like 3, 4 years old?
She's 2.
Two.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things that happens is if you try and punish the person, but then this is basically like you're like the bigger brother and you've got a smaller brother that did something fucking retarded and you try and punish that little brother, but then the dad comes and is like, no, I'm going to take it up with me. And that kid then, and the dad's like, I'm not going to punish you. And it's like, okay, now that instills an even harder resenting thing. It's basically like if your kid cries for like 10 minutes and then you're like, I can't take it anymore, and you just want to walk over there and like grab them and then like they soothe or whatever, that teaches that will teach the kid, okay, all it takes is fucking time, and then it's going to take longer and longer to break the habit. So I think while I would agree with you that it would be good to do it now under a competent administration, this admit like basically what you're doing is like, we're gonna get fucked in the ass, and like it's gonna teach people like, hey, this just ain't gonna fucking work, because then they're just gonna be like, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna attack motherfuckers, and it just doesn't matter because the presidency just runs this, and they would probably even do this beyond the Trump administration, or they'll just wait for another Republican to come in and they'll be like, oh, Republicans, they didn't punish us before, why fucking now?
Okay.
Can I
say the analogy?
Can I ask you a question before you? Let me let you finish. But
ask one question. Yeah, go. Yeah, ask your.
No, because you were responding. I can hold it. You go ahead.
Okay. I'll stay in the analogy. Okay. Imagine your kid, I don't know, kills the fucking dog or something, and you just do nothing. What precedent are you setting there? That nothing happens. That there's no punishment. That there's no even attempt to try to hold them for any kind of punishment or any kind of consequences of their actions.
You'd punish them later.
Well,
3 years? 3 years later?
Well, yeah, you probably would versus like right now. Like,
okay, what do we learn about punishment?
Don't worry.
It needs to be timely. Like when action happens, you have to do something to counteract it. If your kid does something bad and then 3 days later you punish them for it, they're not going to be able to in their brains. They're not going to be able to tie those two events together.
What did we do with Jan 6? We had to wait for us to then take over on the 20th, and then we had to shove things. Then we had to do investigations, and then we had to like
how well that went for us, but at the same time, okay,
we got punishments.
Okay, but but holding with your analogy, both of you, let's say the kid killed the dog. Okay,
yeah,
yes, that's horrible and that's bad. And they should be, punished for that. At the same time, it's exactly what Ulysses was saying. Like if your dad is Dexter's dad, and he's like, I'm happy he killed the dog. I wish he'd kill more dogs. Then what?
Okay, wait, no.
How is that going to help this poor kid?
I can make this analogy work. Okay.
All right.
You have a kid. All right. Mm-hmm. And they kill the dog.
Mm-hmm.
and you also are in a very bad, we'll say,
Like
split
relationship.
marriage,
Yeah.
a split marriage or some shit.
Okay.
And if you try to punch the kid's just going to go to their other parent's house and escape all punishment or some shit. Okay, but now imagine this. Imagine this now when you talk to your friends or anyone connected to you, or even the courts where you're trying to get more, let's say, what's it called when you get more like control over the kid or some shit?
Like custody,
Custody.
or custody.
Yeah, custody and stuff. Imagine now you go to the judge and you say, "Hey, judge, okay, my kid killed a dog, or killed a dog, and I try to punish them, and instead my partner on the other side basically covered for them, and they face no punishment." I think a judge would be like, "Okay, that's not good. The kid needs to face some kind of punishment for that, and will probably grant you more guardianship over your child."
I hear you, but I feel like what you're saying is what we're saying. We're just saying that custody hearing is really the only time that punishment it could possibly be actually effectively given to that child. So we're saying let's wait for the custody hearing when we can have a competent judge,
No, you're waiting for
be in the
3
situation.
years later where your ex like ODs on heroin or some shit. So now you have full custody, and then you can actually give a punishment for the kid for the dog that they murdered 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, the kid's not a dog. Yeah, when a dog does something and they bite you, they have that lost memory. But people, human beings, whether they go to jail at age 15 or age 25, like they're still getting that punishment. Okay, but let me ask you the question I was thinking, and maybe this will help us to kind of figure some shit out. So, okay, if the officer who killed Renee Good were arrested and did have some sort of public punishment or backlash, do you think that Alex Preddy would be alive today?
Was that to me or Ulysses?
To